talking to you, baby. I just get carried away. You blow my mind.
You guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Not the match reaction that we wanted, but probably the one that we predicted. A lot of us weren't too far off our match predictions. I think a lot of us predicted wins, but narrow wins, and a lot of us also predicted a draw. I was feeling a bit confident. If you guys remember my match reaction yesterday or match preview yesterday, I said 1-0, maybe 2-1, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. Scott McTominay with the one goal. I did say that though. I said if in Napoli score is going to be either Politano, McTominay, and then Hakan, Calhanoglu with one of the goals of the seasons. But we could have lost that game at the end, guys. Giovanni El Cholito, El Shitito, Simeone could have won this for Napoli. Match point ball. He had it on his foot, on his right foot. He's right-footed and he had it on his right foot. And Gonch put it in. And my heart was in my throat. But luckily, he is a top-level striker, a world-class striker. Never has been, never will be. And we got let off there. We also had plenty of other chances. But it was just the fact that after all those chances created, same script as a lot of games this season, integrating a lot of chances. One mistake, we get punished, but then potential for the other team at any point to punish us, and they could have punished us. We could have ended this game with 0 points, but in the end, woo, I don't know how you guys feel. I kind of feel relieved. I'm kind of not too sad about leaving this game with 1 point. It is, at the end of the day, Conte's Napoli, you saw they parked the bus for most of the game. Very, very resolute, very good defending from Conte's team, very disciplined. We know Conte's team, of course. We were a Conte team for 2 years. He did get a decent reception out there, Conte. But the fact is, as some of you guys have said in the chat, our big game record this season at the moment isn't good at all. We've got 2 points between Milan, of course we have 0, Juve, Napoli, of course Atalanta. We have to count Atalanta now as a big game for sure. And I mean, maybe we need to put in now Lazio, Fiorentina in there as well. Like, look at Serie A this season. This is an absolute wild west of a league at the moment, and it's fun to see this as a Serie A enjoyer, but as a neutral, this is at the moment probably the most entertaining league in terms of the openness of the who could win it. Look at that, 6 teams within 2 points of each other from 1st to 6th place, and then there's a nice little gap between Milan and the others, but Milan and Bologna are the teams that have 1 game less played as well. So this also gives me, I'm not losing sleep over it, but we failed to overtake Napoli. That's what we want to do today, right, guys? We wanted to overtake Napoli. They were there for the taking after the 3-0 loss to Atalanta last week. After that Arsenal win, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. So they remain top of the league, unfortunately. But again, within striking distance. If they make a mistake, hopefully we will be there to pick up the pieces. But really, really entertaining league at the moment. I'm sure at some point it always happens. The cream will rise to the top. We'll see what Fiorentina, Lazio, especially those two, are the ones that I'm feeling like, surely there's quite a bit of overperformance going on right now. Let's see how long they can keep that up for. And in terms of speaking of overperformance or bit of surprise, you got bloody Moise Keane competing for the top scorer. Marcus Thuram, what are you doing, brother? You're getting outscored by Moise Keane. This guy needs to wake up. This guy, September, October was really good, and now he's just even towards the end of October he was starting to fall off. So, Marcus Thuram, I am watching you, brother. But let me quickly go into the live chat with you guys, see what you guys are saying. Thank you to the 77 people that are in the house. Thank you everyone for being here post match. You know what your job is, apart from obviously commenting. Leave a thumbs up, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah, there is Mattia. Of course, he is the man with the right stat. 2 points from 3 derby games at home, not good enough. Definitely, that is not Scudetto level at the moment. Again, I always maintain this, that you win the Scudetto by winning not just the big games. You win, big games are what you have 5, 6 big games a year, as in each round, or each half of the season. But then the other 13, 14 games you have to play, those are not the big games. That's how you win the Scudetto, by winning all the other ones. But at the moment, yeah, you can't not win all the big games. You can't go the whole season without winning any of these big games. You have to take points from other teams as well to gain them as well. So at the moment, we're not doing that. Should have won, played better. Napoli did nothing. 3 big. I don't know about Napoli did nothing. They definitely parked the bus, but the few times that they did attack, Ben, we'll get into some of the screenshots. It took some Acerbi last man slide, that Simeone one right at the end. There was a couple of things that they did on the other end that had me worried, but it was mostly Inter, and definitely we had. Let's have a look at the XG. XG, I'm sure will agree with the eye test because we were the better team. Yeah. I'm surprised actually with the possession in the first half. I think it was 60-40 at half time. So Napoli kind of stepped it up in the second half. But yeah, 1.53 XG versus 0.59. 13 shots, 4 on target, 1 big chance missed, almost 100 more passes, more corners. How did we do in terms of dueling and things like that? Only 1 yellow card this game, pretty clean game. Of course, actually, we gotta also take into account that we had the penalty, right? 0.7, around 0.7 XG comes from the penalty. So actually, open play XG, yeah, even then we still dominate them because their goal came from a bloody oh no, actually, sorry, not XG open play, non-penalty XG, yeah, 0.75, 0.59. So yeah, there we it's still narrow, but we definitely created more than them even without the penalty, which for me was a soft penalty. We'll get into all that as well. Oh yeah, I want to have a look at the dueling. Let's have a look how we did. So we had same amount of tackles, more interception. Oh yeah, there you go. 44 duels won. Same on the ground duels, more aerial duels. Yeah, surprisingly, we had the same amount of dribbles as them, which yeah, that's quite surprising with Kvara, Politano, and Ngonjon. Yeah, I mean, both teams I think can feel. I think Napoli could be. I'm gonna watch Napoli talk. Dom's reaction after this to see what he's saying. I could feel like Napoli could even say that they could have done a little bit more, and Inter were there for the taking, and I wouldn't blame them if they said that. Got to not to come away with a win. Benoit says our captain needs to wake up. Yeah, man. Now it's like with Lautaro, we really need to have a conversation. This guy, I don't want him to be getting criticism in the media, but you always see like the guys like Leao, these types of guys, always getting criticism in the media, but Lautaro is, of course, the reason why he doesn't get criticism like Leao is because he behaves like a proper professional and works hard. But at some point, Vlahovic quite rightly gets criticized a lot, even though he has the right attitude. Lautaro, how long are we gonna go without seeing this guy criticized? Because now we are in deep November. Sorry, we're getting into mid-November, and this guy still has not turned up. has not turned up. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the comments around his weight, and he's looking a bit chubby for sure. But I think it's more condition. I don't even think, like, again, I've talked about this recently. Like, you can see on Lautaro, if he's fat, you can see on his face, he's one of those guys that picks up. I'm like that as well. If you'll see straight away from me, my face will puff up straight away, rather than the fat doesn't go really they go straight to my belly and my face. Some people get fat all over their body, and Lautaro's one of them. You can see straight away, like, his cheeks get puffed up, and right now, like, you can tell, like, he's not fat, but he's definitely just not in the right shape. He's just half a yard too slow. He doesn't have that. I mean, he's never been the quickest guy, but there's no pep in his step. Those first few yards, there's nothing. There's no explosiveness. He's always been quite an explosive player, at least over the first few yards, and strong as well, like, especially holding up the ball. But now his touch is off. The power, like the strength of holding players off, is not quite there. There's something clearly not right with Lautaro, and it needs to be sorted out, because we're not going to win the Scudetto. If you guys follow me from last year, you know how much I actually gave Lautaro importance and how we won the Scudetto, because I think him scoring all those goals, especially early goals in first halves of games last year, was so clutch. Helped us defend better by having that goal starting. We almost started games, 1-0 up with Lautaro last year. It sounds like counterintuitive to say, Lautaro is why we defended so well last year, but how well he was performing last year helped us be a lot more of a solid team. Whereas now, today I wanted him to be taken off, because I saw when Thuram was taken off, even though Thuram was also not good today, I was like, what? Lautaro's staying on, because I just feel like he's not going to do anything. He's not creating or scoring. Like, it's just a struggle watching Lautaro play at the moment. I'm really, really not starting. We've been concerned for weeks now, and it's just continuing. We even have Napoli fan in the house, Maximus 1318. Thank you, brother. Great game. What about what I expected? Still say Inter is the class of Serie A, will win Champions League this season. Well, I don't know about that, brother. Chill out. I appreciate the positivity there. But I think, yeah, when you look at it, if you looked at this game, especially, if you don't invest yourself too much into the game, I think you can still see Inter are the superior team. Like, the way we control, especially first half, the intensity that we were playing with, it wasn't coming off in terms of, like, in the final third, we didn't have the ideas, but in terms of the way we were winning the ball back from Napoli and just putting them under pressure, keeping them in their own half for most of the half. This team, Inter, still definitely look like the best team in Serie A. That's something to take away. But at the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the back of the net. The best team is also clinical, and at the moment we're not clinical. We might look like the best team aesthetically. We might look like still the best team, but again, those shades of Inzaghi's first and second season of, like, okay, yeah, we look good, we play good football, but what's the meat? Where's the meat at the end of this? In Italy they say tanto fumo, poco arrosto, so a lot of smoke, very little roast. The barbecue is smoking up, but the meat is like, this big. Only positive is Lukaku had a stink. Adam says the bum. Yeah, we know this guy. Like, I took him out. I had him on my fantasy Serie A team. I took him out. I knew, like, get out of here, man. You're gonna get pocketed. Especially when I knew Acerbi was starting. Acerbi, salute to you, brother. Came back straight from injury and looked like he didn't even miss a beat. I thought maybe today we could have seen some, rustiness from Acerbi at the age of 36, but we'll get into it. I've got an amazing screenshot of Acerbi. This guy, what a player. Very disappointing that we couldn't win against Milan, Juve, and Napoli. Yeah, Ahmad also talking about that. Acerbi had Lukaku wrapped like a blanket, 100%. And of course, the boos and the whistles were ringing once again for Lukaku. And of course, Lukaku, uomo di merda. Lukaku, uomo di merda. Man of S-H-I-T, if you don't know what that means. Napoli were really a threat. We're just impotent. Yeah, most of the game they weren't, Christian, but those couple of times they were. McTominay tapping and that you know, Giovanni Shiteone. Absolute stinker from Lautaro Martin and Mucus Turnham. Wow, Mucus, that's a new one. That is a new one. Mucus Turnham. I've heard Turnham or Turdham, but Mucus, that's a good one for Marcus. That definitely was, especially when you're ill and it's just like stuck in your throat, like Mucus Turnham. And yeah, Lautaro Martin. Lautaro has been a slander name that we've used for many, many years now. We're on the same points as Fiorentina. Atlanta Lazio top 4 fight confirmed, of course. Mattia and Anthony are just waiting for that negativity of C to come out. Nah, just joking, just joking. Yeah, 100%. Is nothing is over. Like we're just 1 point behind, guys. 12 points into the season, like 12 games into the season. Sorry, like this is the first half. You got to give it to like match day 15, 16, even to kind of start drawing, what the Scudetto race is really like. Like this is still the preliminary stages, and the fact that, and another kind of, I guess you could say, I don't know if it is a positive, but I guess it is a positive. The fact that we're not playing that great. How many games, especially in Serie A, how many good games have we played this year, guys? Atalanta, maybe what? The Lecce one was that a good one? Um Udinese one, definitely not. Um, Definitely not Monza, obviously. I don't know, to be honest. I think it's just the Atalanta game that we played well, like really played well this season, isn't it? I don't really know, like which games have we actually played well. So my point is, the fact that we're still up there whilst not having played that well, like yeah, even this Empoli game we didn't play well. It says 3-0. Roma, yeah, we didn't play that well. That's Champions League. Obviously, awful game against Milan. Yeah. We literally haven't played one really good game this year, and we're just 1 point behind Napoli. So, in that way, and we're doing really, so you got to also think about, it's not just about Serie A in terms of we also are doing well in the Champions League. We're probably slightly ahead of what I expected for sure in Champions League. But yeah, as Mattia says, the thing is, what we've been saying all year is not just about us. It's like Napoli, Conte's Napoli. They are without Europe. They need to start dropping points. If they don't, then whatever we do doesn't matter if they don't drop points. But I do think they will. Like I think Atalanta showed some chinks in their armor last week, and against the smaller teams, we've seen also Conte teams. On the other flip side, let's say Conte, Inzaghi did what Conte did to us today. We know we had Conte. We know that Conte struggles when teams sit back, put 11 men behind the ball. So Conte and Napoli will face teams like that as well that will make it difficult for them. And I'm sure they will drop points, but we just need to be there to make sure that we can overtake them. Oh, come on, Stanislas. It will be a miracle if we defend this Scudetto. Like now you guys are, going overboard. This is not like, even Man City in the Premier League, how far are they behind? They're like, what, 6 points behind Liverpool? 5 points behind Liverpool. And even that I wouldn't say that would be a miracle. Like, this is the preliminary stages at the moment. If we get to like, past halfway point and, the point gap is big, then it becomes, then you're saying like, wow, we need something special. But right now, 1 point behind, still not hitting, first gear, or still not hitting top gear. It's definitely not positive. I'm not gonna sit here with you guys and be like, nah, come on, guys, definitely like go and do it. Like at the moment, we're still kind of stumbling our way forward, but we still are going forward. Why are we using Darmian left wing back? We need to, nah, guys, you know, Tajon Buchanan was barely getting minutes last year when he was fully fit. Now he's been out for what, 4 months. He's not even played, and I said this in my preview, and I've been saying it for a few weeks. I'm surprised they're not giving him minutes in the Primavera like this. He is not going to be thrown on by Inzaghi with no minutes in his legs against Napoli in a match, in a potential Scudetto head-to-head battle. You guys, we've had Inzaghi for how many years now? You know what? And I agree with him. Like, you can't, like, this is, in ideal scenario, I would like to see Tejon being thrown on, but what is an unmatched fit Tejon Buchanan going to do? He's not got no match rhythm. He was already in no Serie A rhythm last year, because you could tell that he still wasn't quite used to the Serie A yet, and you want him to just go in there and do something. I don't think it's the right time, but I do need them to start getting integrated slowly now. Like, we do need someone like Tejon in these types of games. 100% Stefan. If he was 100% fit with a few matches behind him, he should have been the man brought on. But today, it's still a little bit early for him because he just hasn't got any minutes in his legs. Yeah, last season, as I've said many times, was definitely an overperformance, especially the 14 goals we conceded by the end of the season. Like, that was such a big overperformance, or 18 goals, whatever it was. Pietro, yeah, maybe the Milan from the 2021-22 season, where, yeah, again, we showed that we were superior, that we created more, we looked better, but then at the end, we didn't bring the match home, and then second half of the season, we let things bottle. We are falling from place. We have to fight for top 4 this season. Today, Correa could have, I don't know, probably, I guess there's not much worse you can do. I mean, even Arnautovic came on today, so I guess you could have brought on Correa. Adam says he hates Inzaghi subs, always late. Why does Mickey? Yeah, I don't understand why Mickey played the full 90 today, to be honest. I don't know why Hakan was taken off. I know that Hakan's coming back from an injury, but, he already played 60, 70 minutes against Arsenal. He had like 20 something minutes the game against Venezia. So I would have kept him on. There was no yellow card. And today, again, he kept a player on with a yellow card. Dumfries stayed on even with the yellow card. But yeah, let's have a look, actually. What time were his substitutes? I mean, Adam, what substitutions would you have made? So let's have a look. So Hakan came on. Actually, yeah, Hakan came on 82nd. Yeah, but I guess that's Adam's point. Very late. Yeah, these are actually very, very late substitution. What's the point in that? What's Taremi gonna do in 10 minutes? Yeah. What's Delinsky gonna do in 10 minutes? Yeah, no, I agree. Today I thought it was like around the usual 75th minute, but this is even later than that. And they actually were waiting. So the subs were ready. Like, I was watching the Zone Italian commentary. They were saying that the triple sub was ready for a long time, but Inzaghi kept delaying it. But again, yeah, even 75th minute, that would, like, 65th, 70th minute, if you want to make a sub, that's the right time, isn't it? Ian Kerr in the house, what's up, brother? 2 points drop, not the worst performance. Well, I mean, we went 1-0 behind as well, Ian. So it's not like the Juve game. That's 2 points dropped. But once you go 1-0 behind, the fact that we were able to come back still, it's still good. But I know what you mean in terms of not taking the chances. Yeah, I saw that one about the handball on Lautaro. That's such an awful touch. I'm glad that Lautaro didn't even get rewarded for that. It was such a bad touch from Lautaro. It just ballooned up. And again, like, if that's given as a handball, like, what are we even playing? And even the penalty we got, I'll be honest with you guys. I'll get into the screenshots now, actually. Where is it? Even the penalty we got, I know that technically, it kind of hits him from behind. But, like, that is a soft penalty to me. That is quite a soft penalty. But anyway, I'll get into the screenshots now. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I might miss a few now that I get into the screenshots. And yeah, definitely can't win when your strikers are this useless. Thuram was disappointed today. Yeah, it's been disappointing for a few games now, Tommy. Let's be real. Thuram, as I said, since his really hot start to the season, has not been on a good patch of form recently. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean the Venezia game was probably actually his worst one, and he got 7.2 here. But that's we know these algorithms of the websites that you can't take them serious. But yeah, Empoli game wasn't that good. Venezia was awful. Arsenal, he was pretty bad substitute, and today again pretty poor. Oh, against Juve he was good for sure. But yeah, so end of October and now 3 games, 4 games in November has not been that good. So definitely needs to step it up. Thank you, Yuha, for reminding the people to like the video. Tense game, frustrating. Yeah, Frattesi not coming on. That was kind of surprising. Especially if you need a goal, that's one substitute I would have definitely tried to make. Frattesi, similar to Scott McTominay. McTominay and Frattesi is like that's the same player almost. McTominay, I have to give him credit. Over the last few years, he has improved technically as well, especially this season under Conte. Seems to be a lot more technically secure. So Frattesi needs to watch that development of how someone who treats the ball like a bomb, just like Frattesi does, has improved on that aspect. But yeah, just like how McTominay scored, Frattesi has that same goal scoring ability, we know, or just that chaos causing ability, even if he doesn't score. Otlo, there he is. He's finished his hat trick at the Meazza. He had the Venezia game, Arsenal game, and Napoli game. Congrats to him. What a week he's had. He's got to watch 2 1-0 wins and a 1-1 draw. So overall, 2 out of 3, not bad week, Otlo. And he got to take a picture with Theo Hernandez. He sent it to me, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, Otlo, but yeah, he took the picture with Theo Hernandez and he told him that Di Marco is the best left back in the world or left wing back in the world. So shout out to Otlo. And hopefully all of you guys can do that as well. Respectfully take a picture with Theo, but then also let him know who the superior left wing back is. And thank you, Mattia. Oh yeah, speaking of Napoli talk, I was talking about him earlier. Here he is. Sorry if I didn't see your question earlier, bro. Question: 4 offsides not given to Inter, leading to 2-3 Inter goals. Oh yeah, I did notice that we did get away with I didn't know it was 4 offsides, but there was definitely 1 or 2 that I saw under the zone that they saw that they caught the corners. Yeah, that's definitely post VAR. They, I guess, kind of rely on the VAR now, the linesmen, so they're not as on it with their offside calls. So that's a good point. Napoli talk is always on it. He's always got his eagle eyes on the referee performance. But yeah, let's get into the screenshots. Competitive could win. Yeah. I guess it could be a lower point tally this year because of how competitive the league is. But let's see how things move. So yeah, as I said, 2 minutes in, you knew what the game plan was. This is literally 2 minutes in, and you know exactly Conte's game plan. It was crystal clear 2 minutes in. You can see every single Napoli player is in their own half. Not even the own half, is like inside the own half of the own half. With their striker Lukaku is the last man, the furthest man forward. So it just showed you knew within 2 minutes what type of game it was going to be, and it was that type of game for pretty much most of the game. And again, did Inter play into Napoli's hands like this? I was listening to Nima on Twitter on his halftime spaces, saying that this is kind of playing into Conte's hands. And I guess in a way he was right, because this is probably the game Conte wanted. Inter in the first half had 60% possession, but very little in chance creation. Maybe, but at the same time, what else? Unless you try to give Napoli, you could have tried. Yeah, maybe Inter could have tried to do the opposite to them as well. Just let them have the ball for a bit and try to hit on the counter. Try to be a little bit smarter. So the first half definitely kind of worked out in the way Conte wanted. And then it literally took 15 minutes for us to create our first decent chance, a bit of quick ball movement good passing, Pavard moving into, how we know Inzaghi's system, the centre backs moving forward, getting into a good shot. But yeah, Buongiorno. Speaking of, Acerbi having a good performance, we also got to speak on Alessandro Buongiorno, the man, the boy that we missed out on, of course. 35, 40 million, worth every penny. Worth every penny. This was probably the dream signing to a long-term Acerbi, the right replacement. But obviously, we were too broke this summer. What a performance this was from him today. And yeah, this was one of the early great blocks that he made on Benji Pavard. And then it's we sleeping. We first I saw also some people complaining on like how the actual corner was given by Dumfries, that he shouldn't have headed it out. But I think that's just standards, that's basics. He didn't know where the man behind him was. I don't think maybe he got the call that he could have left it. He put it out for a corner, so I don't really blame Dumfries on that one. Maybe what I blame is DiMarco was like letting in the cross a bit too easy on Politano. He just let him, as usual, DiMarco backing off the guy to let the cross in. But anyway, a corner isn't at the end of the world. We had Arsenal had about 12, 15, I don't know how many corners they had in that game. So it's fine giving away a corner, but then you have to defend it properly like we did against Arsenal. Arsenal are one of the best teams in Europe in terms of corner taking. And we managed to do well against them. And here, the first corner from Napoli, and we go to sleep. Rahmani, of all people, we let him run to the first post, to the front post, to get a little flick in. And then Dumfries, I guess you could say, sleeping as well, loses McTominay, who sneaks in ahead of him to tap in the ball. Awful defending. It's just into this year, isn't it, guys? We don't defend badly, for like a whole game, but it's just certain moments you just don't have that confidence in this Inter team like we did last year, that we can keep a clean sheet. Or like some games you have that feel, like the Arsenal game, you just had that feeling, isn't it? It depends. Like with Inter, you can tell for the first few minutes whether they're going to keep a clean sheet. You have this feeling, like the way that we defend, the way that we play. And yeah, today there was just that, every time Napoli, even if they didn't create anything, there was that fear of like, oh, we're going to concede here. We're going to concede. In the end, we only conceded from a corner, which is in the underworld. But if you want to win the Scudetto, if you want to win these head-to-head matchups, you can't concede such poor, soft goals. That is a very poor and soft goal to concede in a Scudetto head-to-head battle. My chat has frozen. Let me scroll back up to see your comment. Oh, we even have a Juve fan in the house. What's up, Juve Cornercast? Inter had better opportunities, couldn't convert, but you guys should have won this match by far. Yeah, I don't know by far, but definitely we deserve to win. So thank you for that. Giro Zappelli in the house. I think we're playing well in UCL, not in the league. Well, I don't know about that. But you're young boys. Shall I remind you about the young boys game? We had to Thuram had to rescue us in the last minute. And the Arsenal game, I talked about it in my preview for this game. The result really taints people's analysis of a game. Was the Arsenal game really such a good performance, guys? Was that really such a good performance? I know that it was heavy rotation and everything, but and then obviously Red Star Belgrade, that was expected win, and then Man City, of course, that was a great performance, but again, it was 0-0. So the choices that we made in the Champions League, Giro Zappelli, at the moment do not indicate to me. Maybe again, subconsciously, the players maybe do want. At the moment, we're seeing definitely a more of a hunger in the Champions League compared to Serie A. But from Inzaghi, it's clear, guys. The rotation that we're seeing in Champions League, that's not indicating from Inzaghi in any way or shape that he's focusing on Champions League. the subconscious mind of the players, or even though, maybe they're talking to each other in the dressing room and feel like, I'm still angry from that Champions League final loss 2 years ago against Man City, and I want to try that again. That could be a conversation that's being had behind closed doors in the dressing room. Maybe. But from Inzaghi at the moment, it's clear what the focus is. And I hope the players also know what the focus is. Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to see that as well. Like, he was already getting hyped up by all the Prem-Tard media that, McTominay's moved to Serie A, and then now, like, he's this world-class midfielder because Serie A is lower quality than Premier League. So, yeah, we know what's going to happen. So, awful. Ian Kerr says, I thought the pen was an easy decision. No contact from Anguissa on the ball, or contact on Dumfries, maybe not enough to knock someone out. Yeah, no. I'm not losing. It's just my opinion. I'm not losing sleep over that, obviously, because we got a penalty. But I definitely would be annoyed if if someone gave that penalty against us. That's if Acerbi tried to muscle out Lukaku like that. Lauti needs to eat bench and humble pie, no international release until you play for who pays for you, just to be a boot camp. That's the thing. It's kind of like catch-22 at the moment, isn't it, Debbie? Because with Lautaro, is like he's unfit because we know that he needed this preseason, but now surely he's played enough games, so like this season for him has been his preseason. And I feel like as we talked about in the past, when Barella was out of form, you don't bench him, you just keep playing him into form. When other guys go out of form, you just, top players, they don't usually catch form by being benched. But maybe in this case, because I think Lautaro knows. I don't think it's a case of like Lautaro not knowing. I think he's kind of hinted at in interviews as well that he's not definitely at his level. So I don't think it's one of those things where he's, resting on his laurels. Like, because you can see he is working hard and he's trying, but he's just like his body isn't right. So what if they need to put him on some like extreme diet or training camp or retiro or something specialized? Whereas, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's benched for like 2 or 3 games, and we just need to put him on like literally a preseason. Like Lautaro, you don't train with the team. You do a preseason on your own. You and Tajon Buchanan, 2 guys that probably need a preseason. You 2 to the side, spend a week, send them somewhere. Maybe there's something, I don't know. He just doesn't look right. And I don't think it's attitude wise, because something about if you're talking about eating bench and humble pie, that's indicating someone that's a bit arrogant or not knowing that they're not at their level. I don't think Lautaro has that. That's my opinion on that. Darmian did nothing going forward as usual. But going back to the screenshots, this is the one I wanted to talk about. Francesco Acerbi, at the age of 36, coming back from 2-3 weeks out with an injury against a Lukaku who has been rejuvenated this year under Antonio Conte. Obviously, we know he was going to be booed. We know the pressure of the game. Look at this. Again, this doesn't come down on the XG, guys. This was pretty much a 1v1 opportunity for Napoli. Again, as I say, definitely we had better chances, but let's not lie. There were a few opportunities where Napoli scared us, and I shit my pants. I'll be real. But thankfully, Francesco Acerbi, the superior centre back. Arsenal fans, if Arsenal fans were trying to argue with some of us on Twitter about like, oh no, Acerbi's not really the starter, is De Vrij, and like, no, Arsenal fans, this is our starting lineup, by the way, not what we put out against you guys. This is the starting lineup, and Francesco Acerbi is definitely part of our best lineup, and he proved it today. What a performance! Passing wise, he was good. He was on point today with his passing. Even some, little runs that he went on, some little touches that he did even when he was in the opposition box. Won most of his duels, dominated Lukaku, of course, as he always does. Fantastic, fantastic. And this is just the cherry on top of his performance, because this probably could have been 2-0. Because this was at 1-0. This probably could have been the 2-0 dagger to kill Inter, because I don't think we would have come back from 2-0 down against this Conte team. I'll be real. I'll be very, very real. Let me see what you guys saying. Dumfries touch tight, even there's a grab of McTominay shirt as he scores. I couldn't believe he still went in. Yeah. You know, there's maybe he could have tried to be more goal side of McTominay, but yeah, there's not much he could have done on that goal. Definitely like how pragmatic we were against Arsenal, especially homework though. Yeah, 100%. Can't wait for the day we sell Lautaro, get a brave coach. Okay. Lord Uxas, like Inzaghi, like, you know, you can't be complaining about Inzaghi in terms of yeah, okay, in terms of some substitutions and things, definitely he's not a brave coach. I agree with that, but wishing that we want to get a brave coach, but, you know, most of the time they're not going to go for, like, you know, some 35-year-old from the German league, are they, guys? They're going to go for someone, other experienced Serie A coach who's not going to be super adventurous. So you're never going to get that wish. Looking forward to Carlos Augusto coming back from injury. Yeah, we have missed him. And I think, you know, today Di Marco was a little bit off today. Second half, he stepped it up a bit. But I think all these minutes that he's having to play now with no Carlos Augusto is starting to get to him. Even though he had 2 decent shots today, one hit the post. But in the first half, he was really off it. 0 out of 8 crosses today. And then he gave away the ball a few times really badly. And he wasn't, like, you know, in his duels, he wasn't quite on it as he has been this season. Our best, most consistent performer this season. But yeah, definitely. We need Carlos Augusto back. But hopefully after the international break, his injury was a little bit more serious than the other ones. Yeah. I mean, I talked about the Simeone chance right at the beginning. Ian, if you missed it, that one was the one that I thought, that's it, we lost it. And the Vrij, the fridge, you know, coming on, had to be him giving away that chance. And yeah, he also provides that solidity, left centre back. Although I don't think we really missed in the left centre back position. I think, yeah, we've missed him more in the, because now finally, what I was saying all summer, Bisek could have saved the money on Thomas Palacios and spent it elsewhere, because Bisek can play that role completely fine, as he's been showing. Going back to the screenshots, yeah, speaking of Acerbi, even had a decent shot in the first half on goal. Barella passes it into him, lovely little reverse pass, and Acerbi controls and then hits it, but straight at Meret. And then Hakan, who actually had a bit of a up and down match, right, guys? I mean, we'll talk about it at the end in terms of man of the match. He still might be man of the match, but he had 2 horrible giveaways in the first half, straight to Lukaku both times. The worst possible guy to give it to as well. Like he was sleeping or something. Again, I've been saying it all season, guys. When we're talking about evaluating this Inter team, it's not the Aslanis and the, you know, Fratesis that have a problem with. If we're going to talk about replicating last season, the big boys are not stepping up this year as much as they were last season. So, of course, Lautaro is one. Thuram was, but now isn't. Hakan has been still good, but definitely nowhere near as good as he was last year. And this match kind of exemplifies it. What an amazing goal he scored. But then he had 2 absolute brain fart moments where we could have been punished. And then he also misses the penalty. Finally, the Hakan 19 out of 19 streak is over. And I don't know about you guys. I kind of had the feeling today that he was going to do it when he stepped up for it. But anyway, let's focus on we'll get to the penalty afterwards. Let me just talk about this because this was just how good was this goal, guys? Obviously, merit, and as I said in my preview, I don't rate him at all. I don't know why. Obviously, well, I know why Spalletti calls him up, just same as Di Lorenzo. Although Di Lorenzo has picked up his form, that why he still gets called up for Italy, should be Di Gregorio. But the fact that Hakan shoots it from here because he is Hakan and he can do that. And then I'm going to try to show it just for a few seconds. That is like the Jabulani effect. If you guys remember, 2010 World Cup, moves all over the place in the air. But yeah, Meret, awful save. But it does move. So it wasn't an easy one, but definitely a goalkeeper that gets into the Italian national team should be saving that. But who cares? I was gassed. I was just Hakan, I love you. Frauditarian, that's a good one. I saw a few of you guys saying that in the chat earlier as well. But I know Gabri, as a Primavera merchant, really hates guys like Mkhitaryan who get full 90 minutes. Yeah, today he definitely wasn't Mkhitaryan. His game was very up and down today. He was really good at sometimes he won the ball back and won physical battles. I think he was needed today. I definitely didn't mind him starting today against a physical midfield like McTominay and Anguissa. But I don't know why he got the full 90 minutes. I was really confused as to why he got the full 90 minutes. He got a few bad passes, few bad giveaways, but look at that. This is why he's in the team, guys. 10 recoveries. Did Hakan even have that many as the DM? Seven. So yeah, look at that. Hakan as the DM has 7 recoveries, and Mkhitaryan as, I guess, the secondary DM, 6 defensive action and 10 recoveries. That's why he's in the team, guys. But he definitely shouldn't have completed the full 90. I think Frattesi should have come on, or Zielinski should have come on for him. That would have been nice to see. I don't think I agree that he should not have completed the full 90 minutes for sure. Frauditarian. I think that he was excited by as well. They want to smash in the bottom. I mean, that's what he always does, the knick-knack. That is literally Hakan's technique. He smacks it in the bottom corner pretty much every single time. Few times he's done, top corner as well, but most of the time it's an absolute smash into the bottom corner where even the keeper guesses it right. It usually is past him before he's even touched the ground. Other opportunities after that, yeah, we go for halftime, and we actually came out quite well. Straight after halftime, we came out quite well, with some energy, still putting pressure on Napoli. And yeah, as I said, Di Marco stepped it up in the second half. He even hit the post here, quite unlucky. Lovely shot, hit the post on the outside of the post, unlucky. That would have been such a nice. And by the way, it's Di Marco's 27th birthday, so happy 27th birthday to Di Marco. It's a shame that he couldn't top it off with what would have been a very nice goal here. And then he had another chance afterwards on a volley that he kind of hit straight at Meret as well. So yeah, shame for Dimash. And yeah, we already talked about the penalty. We already talked about the penalty there. I think it's a bit soft, but it is what it is. And there it is. Take a picture of this, guys. Very rare moment of Hakan Calhanoglu missing a penalty. His 19 out of 19 record is now 19 out of 20. The curse has hit him. And it had to end, just like Inter had 6 wins in a row in the Milan derby. It had to end. We knew it had to end. Same as Hakan. He got to 19 out of 19 and it had to end. And as I was saying earlier, I don't know how you guys felt. When he stepped up for it today, I'm not saying it just because he missed. There was something, I don't know, I just didn't feel as confident. He also hesitated, when the referee blew the whistle to when he was taking it kind of took an extra bit of longer. I don't know. It just didn't feel right. And then he actually did miss it, hit the post. It didn't even, yeah, no. It would have been good if like hit the inside of the post and went in, but no. And then it didn't even come back to like, to an interplay as a rebound. Who's talking about getting someone instead of Inzaghi? No, no. I don't even want to talk about that right now, Mattia. Um, Someone said on Golazo Nero we would learn nothing from this game, and they were right. Nothing. Yeah, yeah. Again, even if Inter lost, like let's say the catastrophe of Inter losing happened, it's match day 12. Um, but I think we would have learned something in terms of Tommy, in terms of if Inter were able to get a win today and be clinical, that would have told us that okay, what we've been chatting about has been absolute chatting, rubbish about this Inter team, or now they stepped up. But actually, no, we're continuing on the same vein of this Inter team are a little bit defensively not as solid, and up front they're nowhere near as clinical as last year. But in terms of Scudetto race, yeah, we haven't really learned much. Hakan scored the pen that mattered to be me. Yeah, that Arsenal one. Yeah, I definitely, if you ask me, well, actually, I don't know. The Twitter beef with Arsenal was really big though. But if you asked me last week, if you asked me like, would you want Hakan to miss the penalty? Nah, today's one, bro. I know I really wanted to be Arsenal, but I wouldn't have lost sleep over a draw. Like, if Hakan didn't score that penalty against Arsenal, we had a 0-0 draw there. And I was fine with this. But a penalty today, that was the 2-1. That was the winner, Tommy, potentially. So I know we won that win over the Prem Tards for sure. I want it as well, but 2-1 win, penalty, 3 points, taking over Napoli. I'm taking this one. I'm sorry. I'm taking this one. Oh, you're talking to Lord Uxas. Um, Pietro said the British media jinx. No, but I mean, they talk about that a lot, Pietro. It's like, once you go past like, I don't know, 10, 12 penalties in a row, it becomes every single time Hakan takes a penalty, it's like it's always some like a thing to talk about. The commentator talks about it when he's stepping up. Yeah, maybe the interview about it, Jinx. Actually, yeah, even in the interview, I was thinking like he said, I changed something in my penalty this time. He said I waited for the goalkeeper. He said I don't usually do this, and I was thinking like, you don't need to change anything, bro. Your technique and style of taking it is completely fine. So I don't want this to like put some doubt in his head of like, how should I take this penalty when he's got clearly the one certain way that works. And I don't know if that also played a factor in it, because yeah, he's trying to change now. He thinks maybe his penalties will be red, but I don't think you should try to change it. We know, and I hope this isn't like if you guys watched Zlatan's career. Zlatan used to be really good at penalties over his career, but then something happened at some point, like even at Milan in his last stretch. Zlatan, big man Zlatan, who can bully his own teammates out of things, but he got bullied off penalties. He had, in the end, it was Kessie because his penalties. At some point, he similarly to Hakan, Zlatan also just, no like stutter, no nothing. He just steps up and just blasts it bottom corner most of the time. Similar technique to Hakan. But then at some point, he just started being shit at taking penalties. And yeah, Frank Kessie had to just tell him, bro, penalties are mine now. So hopefully, I just hope he returns to his usual um, way of taking penalties. Yeah, never second guessing yourself for sure. Time for a Lautaro replacement. I mean, I've talked about this. The problem now is the renewal we gave him. It's not easy. No one, or I struggle to see any team paying Lautaro anywhere near what we pay him now. So the renewal really has tied Lautaro to Inter now. No one's going to pay him 9-10 million net plus bonuses, especially if he's performing like this, unless it's Saudi team. Actually, yeah, we do know the Saudi team did come in for Lautaro last year. Remember, that was a whole thing that he rejected Saudi. So that would be the only realistic one. Um, but yeah, I mean, Jonathan David is nice player to potentially have, especially as a free transfer. But let's not talk about like he's some sort of savior. He's a decent striker. Definitely would be nice to acquire if potentially on a free transfer. But let's not like go and act like Jonathan David would be like an upgrade on Lautaro. Well, anyone's an upgrade on Lautaro right now. Like, potentially Joaquin Correa or Arnautovic, the Lautaro that we're seeing right now. But let's not like, go overboard with Jonathan David. Um oh yeah, Barella had this opportunity. This was, he did really well on like he did like a fake shot with his right and then took it on his left, but then the finish with his left was awful. Again, very, very central. Like these are not big opportunities, but someone of the quality of Barella just inside or was on the edge of the box, I think I would expect him to do a bit better. And Barella, again this season, what is this? He scored this season. I think he's got that amazing goal he scored against Atalanta, right? That was an amazing volley with his left foot. Yeah, 1 goal, 2 assists. Like a couple seasons back, he had his best goal scoring season ever. I think it was 7 goals, 8 goals he scored that season. And I thought that was what was missing, right, from Barella's game. And we thought, wow, he's now added that to his armory. But then now he's again, we do need those goals from midfield. Like Mkhitaryan doesn't do them. He did it against Juve, but he went a whole year, more than a year without scoring. So we really do need Barella to chip in more often with, I'm not saying he needs to score 10 plus goals and become Frank Lampard and, these types of goal scoring midfielders, but if he can maintain at least, the 6, 7, 8 goals a season from midfield, that's gold. That's golden for us because then we don't always have to rely on our strikers to provide the goals. And then yeah, that was the last screenshot, the Simeone match point. And that's it. Yeah, no, Lukman definitely would be. I mean, that's the thing with with Thuram this year. He was our Lukman last year in terms of he was the guy that was, running in behind with speed, dribbling, taking players on, winning penalties, creating things out of nothing. But now this year, he's been converted more into this 9. But I miss last season's Thuram. I know that he's scoring more right now, but I'd rather have last season's Thuram. But at the same time, last season's Thuram had last season's Lautaro next to him, which was like, okay, Thuram, you don't need to score. You can do all the stuff outside the box. I do the scoring. So, God's sake. In reality, we need in reality we need Taremi. We need Taremi to start scoring. Loving the new mic. Thank you, Ian. Thank you. It is a big investment for me. Sounds great, but it feels should be a bit louder. Yeah, let me see the setting here because it's got volumes. What about now? What about now, Mattia? Is it better? Someone said it on my comment the other day. So the guys, let me know if it has been too quiet in my last few videos as well, because I want to get this right. I spent £120 on this, so I want to make sure that we are. Oh, actually, it's going up and down by itself. What about now? Now, great. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it on this setting from now on, so it's like almost on full. You can see like these lights here. It's almost on full volume. I'm probably gonna get stand for it as well. At the moment, I'm holding it, because I'm just being a cheapskate. Maybe I should get one of those arms that come out here. Anyway, let's finish up, guys. We are on 1 hour of this stream. You guys know what the drill is. Let's get into who was the man of the match. Yeah, no, I mean, Dzeko in the end, he wasn't really a backup striker, Jack. He was our starter. That was the thing with Dzeko. But yeah, Taremi is he's definitely not hitting the heights that I was expecting him. I thought Taremi is going to be the guy that come the end of the season, 12, 15 goals, all comps, like, we would expect someone like Dzeko would do, but he hasn't stepped up. Again today, when he comes on, he always works really hard, runs like a madman, presses really well, but we need more in the final third from Taremi. So yeah, man of the match, guys. Thought Mob have given it to Bastoni, but I don't really. Yeah, I mean, he stat padded that assist. It wasn't really an assist. He kind of gave the ball to Hakan from 2 yards, and then Hakan did a thunder strike from 30 yards out. Hakan, yeah, as I was saying, even though he did those absolute brain farts, but actually no, because if it was Aslani, we would have slandered him the whole game. If it was Aslani doing those two brain fart moments, so I'm not going to give it to him just because of the Aslani haters, because I know what they would have said if it was Aslani doing that. But his passing was on point today, when apart from those two stupid moments, like his switches of play, the way he defends, the way he gets the ball back. I know here it says, I don't know, sometimes these stats are not accurate, but it says 0 ground duels won, but for sure not. This guy was like winning duels and yeah, winning the ball back. He was good. He was very good. But yeah, I am maybe leaning towards Acerbi. I am leaning towards Acerbi maybe. Yeah, we'll see. But if PSG come for Thuram again, if he continues being this inconsistent, they're not going to come for him. It's kind of the catch-22, isn't it? Like when Thuram does really well, I always say this is like, oh, I want him to continue doing well, but then we know we're gonna have to sell him. But now, like if he plays, if he does what he's been doing now, scoring, he scores 2 goals a game, and he goes 3 games without scoring, and he scores a hat trick. Like all of his goals have come in multiples this year in Serie A. So yeah. Marvel Lawson says Hakan. Gabri says Acerbi. Yeah, I think I feel like giving it to Acerbi, guys, to be honest, because he's first game back from injury. I also want to give a shout out to Pavard, by the way. Dumfries wasn't that good today. I think defensively he was a little bit out of position at times and up and down the Dumfries game. I know he won the penalty, but definitely a step back from Dumfries from the Arsenal game. But I think Pavard actually did very well in terms of managing Kvara on that side. Kvara, very quiet game today, and Pavard did very well. But yeah, Acerbi for me, man of the match, coming back from injury, coming in, good performance. Hakan, just because he also missed the penalty. In general, very good performance, but he also missed the penalty, so that could have been the winner. But potential one of the contenders for goal of the season, definitely. Yeah, I don't really believe those links, Eminem. I doubt Man City want to buy a 30-year-old CDM just for the moment to replace Rodri. And Ricci, again, like this hype on Ricci, like I do like him and I've wanted him for a few years at Inter, but have you guys seen his recent performances at Torino? Like you gotta also temper your expectations of someone coming in, like the level Hakan's hit. So Brozovic was one of the best CDMs in the world, and Hakan has now become, if not the best. I mean, with Rodri out, I would say might be the best CDM in the world right now, in my humble, biased opinion. That's the level that we're trying to replace. Ricci could get there, maybe. I do see that potential in Ricci. But first of all, I don't believe the rumors. They've not come from any good sources yet. And I think City wouldn't go for a 30-year-old. They don't really shop in Serie A, Man City, when you see. They're not really a Serie A team. You see like a lot of the other teams do it more, like Man United, Liverpool do it. But Man City don't really shop in Serie A. I think they go for different profile of players. Barella, yeah, he also similar to Mkhitaryan, up and down game. As I said, that shot he definitely should have done better. Yeah, some really nice, classy moments. But then also, as usual, some like confusionary moments. Oh wow, on here it says 9 out of 10 ground duels won. Wow, amazing. But again, just like that final product with Barella at the moment is missing for sure. Oh yeah, Spurs, they're like, Paratici is still technically, even though he's not supposed to be their sporting director, I think he's still pulling the strings behind the scenes. They're like, yeah, Leonardo, when he was at PSG, he was buying like all the best Serie A players. That's, yeah, Spurs are definitely Serie A heavy. Let's have a look at Lukaku's stats. Oh, we got, look at that, only 10 passes completed, 21 touches, completely owned by Acerbi. Oh yeah, gotta give a shout out to Rahmani. He was also decent. He got the assist, but he was also decent defensively. Yeah. Nah, not the game that we wanted, not the result that we wanted. Not the greatest game to watch. Second half was actually better, but yeah, that was it for me, guys. Oh yeah, Zoma, there was nothing for him to do. I don't think he made one save. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that, guys. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate that. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And it is the international break. We forgot to say it is the international break. So there is a little bit of a low point, I guess, to leave on the international break, that, it would have been nice to end this match day 12 before the international break going in at the top of Serie A. But again, still unbeaten since the Milan loss, which is, a good positive to take that, it was that kick up the arse that we needed. But not the perfect end. So hopefully you guys know what we gotta do. Prayer circle. Hopefully no one gets injured in the international break. I hope hope no player gets injured. Hope Tajon Buchanan plays a little bit for Canada, for the Canada national team in the break, so he starts to get minutes under his legs. And hopefully Spalletti doesn't overwork Di Marco, Bastoni, etc., Barella in the international break. And yeah, expect some content from me. There's something interesting I'm cooking up. There's one Inter Primavera player on loan, out on loan in Serie B, that I'm going to be making a video on. So keep a lookout for that. Then that video that I've been saying for weeks, that I've already got everything done for it. I just need to make the video about Inter's finances compared to other teams in Serie A, and like, how much we can realistically, potentially be spending next summer. And then what other, do I have anything else cooking up? No, I don't think anything else, to be honest. Obviously, yeah, any other news that comes up, we'll keep you up to date. 4 games ago, I wanted at least 10 out of 12 points, and we managed exactly that. Yeah, exactly. As I said today, I'm not really losing sleep over this. Realistically, I've already predicted this kind of result. But we definitely need to start winning the big games in the next year when the other, the return fixtures come up. But we still have, we still haven't played Lazio, I think, right? We haven't played Fiorentina. Yeah, we still have Lazio, Fiorentina to play. So still some big teams in there on good form to play. Actually, yeah, let's have a quick look at the Inter fixtures before we go. Okay, so not the nicest way to come back. Verona have been on decent form this year away. So we were the return from the international break away to Verona at 2 p.m. kickoff. Those are weird. And then home to Leipzig in the Champions League. We have 0 points, actually, by the way, in the Champions League. So again, surely they're not gonna, they have to get points at some point. And there it is, Fiorentina away. That's a tricky one, especially with the way Fiorentina are playing now, and then Parma at home, slightly easier one, and then Leverkusen and then Lazio back to back away. That is a difficult one leading up to Christmas. So yeah, not a bad way to come back from the international break though. Verona and Leipzig. I'll take that. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Greetings from Argentina. Hope you are doing well, everyone around the world. Thank you, Mattia, for handling the chat as always, modding the chat like a top dog. Appreciate you all, especially channel members. Thank you very much for the support. See you on the next one. Antonio Conte gets a point, but Lukaku gets nothing but some pocketing from Acerbi. Yeah, Acerbi's going to clear out his pockets and find a big, bold Belgian in his pockets tonight. Ciao ragazzi, Forza Inter, sempre.